sixth graders, welcome to the week of May 18th through 22nd. You will click through the slides to complete the assignments for this week. You will find 4 of them. Right here on this page is their learning objectives. This is what we expect you to be able to do at the end of this week. On the next slide, you will click right here to view this video that you are currently viewing. Moving on to ELAR must-do activity number 1. We are also again in the Awesomely Awkward Adventures of Super Pizza. This week you will read or listen to chapter 10 of the book, and then you will answer the discussion questions on the following slide. Right here you can find a link that will take you to where you can hear or you can read the story, and then your discussion questions. Right here on this slide you will answer your 3 discussion questions. We ask that you type your answer in a different color or type them right here in the highlighted spot. Next, we have ELAR must-do lesson number 2, part 1, and it is about pronouns. A pronoun is a word that is used to take the place of a noun. Writers use pronouns to replace nouns that describe a person like boy, girl, teacher, place like school, room, or house, or a thing like toy, book, or car. He, she, they, it, and we are all examples of pronouns. On the next slide, you will read a passage and you will answer the questions about pronouns. So here's your passage for this week. It is on Margaret Thatcher. You have 2 activities right here on this screen. And then on the next slide, you have 5 multiple choice questions. We do ask that you type your answer right here in this yellow box. ELAR must-do lesson number 2, part 2, is that on the next slide, you will use the sentence stem to create a short story. Your story must fill the entire slide, and we ask that you let your imagination soar. This week's writing prompt is Marcus found himself all tied up when he, and you will finish that story. For social studies must-do lesson number 1, you will create a U.S. state slide. You will follow the directions on the next slide to create your own United States slideshow. You only need to choose one state. Right here are your directions. You will choose a U.S. state. You will create a slide for the state that you chose containing all of these 6 items that are located right here to your right. This is an example slide for Texas. You will notice that all 6 components on the previous slide are on this slide. Right here, you will use this blank slide to create your slide. Remember that you can use pictures. You can draw. Whatever you would like to do to convey your information is welcome. Then we have social studies must-do lesson number 2. You will create your own public service announcement, a PSA, on the next slide. Consider what you might post in our classroom or even at your favorite store. You can upload a picture of a drawing or create one using the digital tools and graphics available to you. Then you will analyze the questions asked and write your answers below the questions in complete sentences. On this slide, this is where you will create your own PSA. You will insert your PSA right here in this blank box, or you can upload a picture of a drawing, or you can create it using those digital tools that we've talked about previously. Here are your questions that you need to answer. You need to tell us what your PSA is promoting, and why do you think your PSA is important, and what would make someone pay attention to it. Then, as always, we have our teacher slides that you can view.